In a quiet town near Seattle, Emily Parker, a 35-year-old single mother, worked double shifts at a small diner to make ends meet. Her 7-year-old daughter Lily had been talking for weeks about wanting a Barbie for her birthday. Every time Lily mentioned it, Emily smiled and changed the subject, hiding the pain that came with knowing she couldn't afford even a simple toy. On the morning of Lily's birthday, Emily wrapped a used storybook she had found at a thrift store, her heart heavy. She whispered softly, "I'm sorry, sweetheart. I can't afford a Barbie this year." Lily smiled bravely, trying to hide her disappointment, and hugged her mother tightly. Later that afternoon, Emily went back to work, exhausted but determined. The diner was busier than usual, filled with chatter and the smell of fresh coffee. Sitting alone at the corner booth was a well-dressed man in his early 40s, quietly observing the world around him. When Emily served him, her tired smile caught his attention. He noticed Lily sitting at a table in the corner, coloring with crayons. The man watched them with quiet curiosity, unaware that this small family was about to change his life in ways he couldn't imagine. Daniel Hayes, the man in the corner booth, was a 40-year-old CEO of one of Seattle's largest toy companies. He'd come to the diner seeking a quiet moment, away from the chaos of board meetings and constant pressure. But the sight of Emily and her daughter stayed with him. When Lily accidentally dropped her drawing on the floor while leaving, Daniel picked it up. It was a crayon sketch of a Barbie doll, a small house, and a smiling mother and daughter holding hands. On the paper, Lily had written, "Maybe next year." Those words struck something deep inside him. That night, Daniel couldn't sleep. He thought about his own childhood, about his mother working long hours just to give him a better life. The next morning, he made a decision that wasn't driven by business or profit. He stopped by a toy store and carefully chose the most beautiful Barbie set he could find. Later that afternoon, his black car pulled up outside the diner. Emily froze when he walked in, holding a gift box. "For Lily," he said simply. When Emily hesitated, he smiled kindly. "Please let me. It's from one parent to another." She accepted it with trembling hands, speechless. When Lily opened the gift, her eyes sparkled with disbelief. Inside the box was not just one Barbie, but a whole collection. Dolls, dresses, accessories, and even a pink dream house. She screamed with joy, hugging the box tightly as tears rolled down Emily's cheeks. Emily looked across the diner and saw Daniel sitting quietly, sipping his coffee with a faint smile. Gathering her courage, she walked over to his table, her voice shaking. "You didn't have to do this," she said softly. Daniel looked up, his tone gentle. "Sometimes the smallest kindness can make the biggest difference." They began talking, first awkwardly, then naturally, as if they had known each other for years. Daniel listened as Emily told him about her struggles, how she had studied marketing before life forced her to give up her dreams to raise Lily alone. He admired her strength, her humility, and the love she carried for her child. Before leaving, he took out a small business card and placed it on the table. "Come by my office next week," he said with a warm smile. "I think there's a place for you there." Emily stared at the card, unable to believe what had a week later. Emily nervously walked into the tall glass building of Hayes Toys Corporation, her heart pounding. She had never been inside an office that grand before. Daniel greeted her with the same calm kindness she remembered, introducing her to a small team of employees who worked on community projects. "Emily," he said, smiling, "you understand what families really need. That's something no degree can teach. Welcome to the team." For a moment, Emily couldn't speak. Tears filled her eyes as she realized this wasn't charity, it was opportunity. Within months, she grew confident in her role, helping create programs that donated toys to underprivileged children across the country. Lily often visited the office, proudly telling everyone, "My mom helps other kids get their toys now." Daniel sometimes stopped by the diner, not as a CEO but as a friend. Emily's life had transformed. Steady income, stability, and a sense of pride she hadn't felt in years. On Lily's next birthday, Emily surprised her with a brand new Barbie, bought with her own paycheck. As she watched her daughter's joy, Emily thought about the stranger whose kindness had rewritten their story. Proof that one small act of compassion can change everything just happened.